How's it going, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Winter Chills podcast. We're here in episode 5, and it is currently July 30th as we are recording this. Today I am joined with two guests, much like last time. I'm joined by my good friend Adam.
What's up, guys?
And I'm also joined by my friend Dan.
What's going on, guys?
Who was actually on the first episode of the podcast, so he hasn't been on since last September, I think. So
about time.
Been a minute.
Yep, it certainly has been a hot minute, and we've got a few nice little topics we're gonna go over for you guys today. I would say this is the point where I would say that the podcast is gonna be uploaded on SoundCloud, but you have to pay money to upload more than like 2 things. Well, because the podcasts are so long. You get like so many minutes of free uploading. So I'll get back to you guys on the SoundCloud thing because I'm not trying to pay a bunch of money just to upload the podcast.
Make another account.
Winter Chills. Winter Kills 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Every podcast is a new account.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know if that's against terms of service, but hey, we'll find out. But yeah, thank you guys, of course, for joining me here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Always a pleasure.
We're glad to
The
be here.
podcast wouldn't be made possible without you kind folks. So
Hey, we appreciate you.
thank you very much. So our first talking point of the day is going to be just sort of like a round table discussion, what everybody thinks is the best decks of the format and why they think that is. And I'm going to start with Dan.
I'd probably say Tri-Brigade is going to be the best deck of the format. Just the follow-ups nonstop every single turn off the Revolt and going into Omen, plus the Appaloosa and the bounce. Appaloosa is pretty much like an FTK against Drytron.
Yes,
like,
that is
so.
true.
Yeah,
Can't wait to go against that when I'm playing Drytron. That'll be fun. But I'll always have the out. Always have the imperm for the Appaloosa. So.
Yeah, I don't think you will.
But it's funny that, and I know Tri-Brigade's really good now, but when I was playing Galaxy at Locals, I played somebody that was playing Tri-Brigade, and it literally just the way he was playing it, I don't know if his build was that good, but he would just basically always end on either Rugal or Farigit and the set Revolt with like other traps. And I'm like, why do people think, like, I remember because like it was like the following weekend we were hanging out at Alex's house and I was like, oh, Tri-Brigade's so good, you know, Colin is playing it, right? He's like, it's the best deck, or like one of the best decks, right? And I'm like, how is this deck that good? And then you guys are like telling me like, oh, it actually ends on this Appaloosa with it. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds like it's way better than what I ended up playing against.
I mean, if you hand trap them once, they usually can't get to Appaloosa and the Double Dragon Lord. It could be like one or the other, or not even that. Even sometimes it could just be like Rugal. But even that's enough, honestly.
So that's like their absolute best board. Then would be like the Appaloosa, the Double Dragon Lords, and the Revolt.
Yeah, usually.
And then their follow up is like, where do they get their follow up from?
Just
because they summon
revolting.
back all the little guys, they go back to grave, so then all their
they
effects
get all the
proc.
effects. That's right. Yeah, so just send to add off of Nerval,
send,
right?
add. If they reborn fairy or a bear bloom, if it was properly summoned, they get to either add put back or draw put back, whatever
Yeah.
they
Plus, like,
do.
if they open, like, say 2 Fractal, next turn, just Fractal just starts the whole thing over, pretty much, so.
Very simple deck, but very, very good at the same time.
Very
so,
consistent engine.
yeah, Tri-Brigade definitely, I think we can all agree, is probably one of the better decks. What else outside of that, though? Drytron?
I still think it's probably, if not the best deck, like one of the first, second, third place decks of the format. Just because what it could do through like a lot of interrupts is just really impressive, and then if it doesn't do what it is supposed to, it could just make Dragoon.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of decks, if they just get interrupted, like, oh, you hand trap me 3 times, well, guess what? Here's an Anaconda, and you know what's coming next.
Plan B.
That's so cheesy. I hate it.
I mean, that's
like,
what they got to do to like win. Well, I know not every list is playing it, but I feel like more so the norm now in a lot of Drytron lists. Not like too sure if everyone's running it, but I know more people are on like the perfection stuff, and I don't know if they're running the perfection stuff and that, but I could see it. They still have room for it, I would think, but
yeah. Because like on paper, when you look at the end boards and like if you compare the end boards of like Tri-Brigade versus what Drytron has, like I feel like 9 out of 10 people will be like, oh, Drytron's the better deck. Like you're either ending on the Herald of Ultimus with like what 6 cards in hand is usually what I've seen like on DB replays. You have the Beatrice, which is already an insane card, getting you technically could get you a follow up or more interruptions. You have the IP Masquerena. Like on paper, that just seems a lot better because you just everything you just negate.
Yep.
But I think as one thing that you've found specifically, and you might have experienced his frustrations, and maybe I'll experience those too, is the it's a 2-card combo deck versus a deck like Tri Brigade that's a 1-card combo deck.
Yep.
And then you have Prankers. We'll get to that in a moment, but that tends to be I think what would in general put it a little lower on the ladder in terms. The consistency is lower, but the ceiling is way higher. So.
Yes.
Drytron, Tri Brigade. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because, like, as somebody who's getting back into playing actual meta after playing, I think it was Galaxy, Earth Machine, and then before that, I played, what did I play before that? Was it Mech Knight?
Is it your Mech Knight or Speedroid?
It was Mech Knight, and then Speedroid before that, Infernoble. So I haven't touched a meta deck since
Infernoble. Yeah,
since Infernoble, and before that, it was Zoo Infernoid back in 2017.
So you're just on Block BA.
Yeah, Block BA.
Not meta, but it was damn near. Right?
But it was the best deck when it was out. Trust me. How you outing Fossil Dyna, Nat Beast, Stinky Ursu, Avermat? Okay, whatever. I'm rambling, but the reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because I feel like if you, especially when you're playing in a competitive setting, whether you play on dueling books, you play at a locals, like a competitive locals, one that does like Top Cut, not that we would know anything about a Top Cut at locals, but I digress.
Top Cut, what's that?
what is Top Cut? I only know Swiss rounds. But when you know, like the decks that are going to give you the hardest time, the best decks, that gives you a better idea of A, how you should play, and like B, how you should side properly.
Yes.
Like, you should always be siding for your hardest matchup. Like, if Tri Brigade is Drytron's hardest matchup, you should side a lot of cards for the Tri Brigade deck. Because I feel like if you can play your deck against Tri Brigade, you win. Mm-hmm. If you set up your board, like, you're just winning, like 100%. And then they try to Dark Ruler you or Droplet, and you just chain Lance if they don't send a spell, and then they're just caught with their pants down, and you just win for free. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So we have Tri Brigade, Drytron, which in my opinion is the best deck because that's the deck that I'm going to be playing. So by that it is good. The best. Yeah, it's not Cap. That's just fact. Then we have, I think, what you could say is like kind of like the black sheep of the format, but it's like low key not Prank Kids.
Definitely not a black sheep.
What are we thinking about Prank Kids, fellas? Because we know quite a few Prank Kids players.
Oh, yes, we do. We got quite a few at our locals. They're all very good and do very well consistently just because it is a 1-card combo deck. Like, kind of like Tri Brigade. You just normal summon a guy, boom, full combo.
Yeah.
And you can play like a bunch of hand traps with it. Nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even nowadays, like, it seems like they always have a follow-up.
Yeah.
Like, whereas before, a lot of times, just a single Ash was fine.
Yeah. Now they're playing, like, polys and stuff.
Yeah. Do they always play Triple Pandemonium?
Not always, I think.
I could have swore they only used to ever play one.
I remember
they played 2, I thought.
2?
I remember when it first came out, they had, like, the Fusion sub guy. You would play in, like, the Lunalight deck or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Lunalight Black Sheep or something?
I don't remember. Exactly
Search Fusion Substitute?
Yeah, Search Fusion Sub. Is that what they did?
I'm pretty sure, like, when it first was out.
That was, like, way back, though.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that Prank Kids would be, like, a top-tier deck?
Yeah, because it really didn't, like, seem like it did much, but, like, the Meow Moo...
Meow Mew, yeah.
That
card's
nuts.
Nuts.
Difference.
Like, I remember you were saying at locals, like, I remember, like, a couple years ago, we were saying, like, if Prank Kids ever gets a Link 1, like, it could just be a vanilla.
Yeah.
Which it basically is a vanilla on the field.
Yeah.
And you give them that, and it's just, like... drastically increases what the deck can do.
Insane deck, yeah.
And then not only that, I think Alex brought this up, who is one of the main Prank Kids players in our friend group.
He's on the cast before too.
He was on the previous episode at Large TCG. Check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. But he is a very well seasoned Prank Kids player, and he was saying how it is true because you have cards like Bow Wow and Doodle that recur you back so many cards. Pranks is literally insane. It reminds me of Disciple. Yep, same thing. Like recycle 3 every turn and draw 1. That's huge. The field spell for chain blocking is so important in a deck that is very susceptible to Ash. So like you give it a field spell that can help chain block, like that's also crazy. And then
Or
you
they
know,
just sit on mine.
or you can do that
And just recycle back every single turn.
Yep,
Yeah.
like we just saw on the DB grinder. Burn for 500 every turn.
From 500, all right.
Fun and interactive gameplay.
Fun. Cool, thank you.
But you can also bring back stuff off of like Weather Washer and Rocket Ride, and then your things can be destroyed by battle or card effects. So then you can't fully clear their board. And then, you know, they get the double Walking Raigeki, which is also just like...
What do some decks do against that, you know?
Some decks, that's just an FTK against.
Yeah.
Essentially. You
Board
just can't
clear.
play through it. There's 2 Raigekis. Too much for me.
or the Rip Roaring Roaster being
for
the
the
Walking
spell trap
Feather
decks,
Storm.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
So yeah, very, very. I think I don't want to say Prank Kids is underrated. I feel like now it's not really underrated, but I feel like maybe in the past couple months it was kind of
But now it's
Yeah.
definitely
Now
on like
it's-
the
I mean,
forefront.
creeped its way up because it won the LCS, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
beat,
then Infernoble got second place, which
Phantom
is interesting.
Knights was the final round, I believe. with
No, that
Pranks.
was in the DCS.
Oh, DCS.
Yeah, DCS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Prank still won that too.
Yeah, regardless.
Like,
That's crazy,
it's
man.
winning
Yeah.
tournaments left and right.
Did any Prank Kids make the top cut of the remote duel YCS?
I
So do
wasn't
you guys
really
know
keeping up
offhand?
with that. I was just more
Okay.
so focusing on the LCS and the DCS.
What is the DCS? I never heard of that.
It was just another tournament I saw. It was on the grinder. I just saw him upload it, and I was like, kind of interested. So I looked into it a little bit more. There's just like just another tournament, kind of like an LCS.
Gotcha.
Similar sort of thing, a little bit smaller though. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, very high skill level tournament, and Prank Kids take it, which
Yeah.
is absolutely nuts. Like some Prank Kids players definitely know what they're doing with the deck, and like they can play around stuff like crazy. It's very
It's scary when there's a good player behind it.
I feel like it's an easy deck to pick up, but a hard deck to master.
That is, yeah,
So
I would agree
think.
with that.
Sort of like how Striker is and like Salad, stuff like that. But because if you sit down from like a Striker player, they're probably not going to be like the greatest in most cases, I feel like. But there's some people who could play Striker, and like
Absolutely.
and you'll know when you sit down across from them.
Absolutely.
Unless you're doing like different stuff, and you'll just be like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy.
Not your typical Sky Striker plays, yeah. Is that
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you'll see? So yeah, we have Prank Kids, Tri Brigade, Drytron,
Top
and then
3 easy.
I would think. I mean, what about Dragons? Dragons still up there
They're-
right now, or is it just kind of
They,
lingering?
I mean, they still make pretty much the same board. It's just much more susceptible to hand traps.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, plus the Striker Dragon going away takes away so much grind game from it.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're hand trapping them enough, like, you're more than likely going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, the deck
like,
lost a lot.
Ash Nib against them is very strong again.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw, but did you see the Cody Angeloff rebooting his
Danger Thunder Crusadia.
Danger Thunder Crusadia deck, ending
That is
on
wild.
number 38, Hot Red, Spheres, and Savage, I think.
Yeah, it's like the same board they used to put up.
Yeah, but
minus
without
the
Colossus, yeah.
It's like
I thought that was cool.
it was
but
cool, but
it definitely seems like a
It
lot of
just-
these big dragon combos are kind of more susceptible to hand traps now.
Yeah.
But
that deck could definitely play through a lot of hand traps. But I noticed something too. Is I think I saw his list, and I don't think he was playing any hand traps. The only
yeah, it's
going
just
second
all gas,
card,
no brakes.
all gas, no breaks, and just talents. Was this like only like going second type card?
That card is crazy.
I mean, yeah, like you could definitely play through a lot with that deck, but I feel like you just still maybe run like a hand trap or two. Like I don't know, maybe that's incorrect, but
yeah,
what do I know? I don't play the deck. They would obviously know better, but
true.
yeah.
So yeah, in total we have Tri Brigade and Drytron, Prank Kids, Dragons. I guess you could throw in as like an honorable mention. Is there any other decks that Phantom Knights? Phantom Knights is also a very good deck too right now.
And my
Yeah.
duelist.
Love the deck.
Now, what's the typical end board with that deck?
Usually Rusty, Appaloosa.
Mhm.
Now with the Utopic Draco, you can make that. And using Leviers to go into that is really nice. Just putting all your PKs back from Banished back into the grave for the
Yeah.
next turn follow-up.
Mhm.
I feel like that's like the biggest strength is the follow-up.
Yeah.
It just seems like it doesn't end.
Mm-hmm.
And like fog blading on your opponent's turn, doing it again on your opponent or during your turn, plus Torrent Scales can keep going every single turn.
Yeah.
It's just endless.
Yeah, you have the Appaloosa, the Utopic Dragon. He's a monster negate, right?
Monster negate, but when he negates, if
You
it's
take
on field,
control of it.
if it's on field, you take control.
That's so
and it's permanent.
good. Yeah, that's so.
Can't
and
be
that-
destroyed by battle or
crazy.
card effects.
So they could have just left it at the monster negate, but they're like, how about you just take control of the card too?
So like Dragoon negate, steal.
yeah,
Mine
that's,
Now I get a Dragoon.
wow,
Doesn't
that's
negate its effects
insane.
or anything. Just
Wow,
my Dragoon.
that's actually
Yankees.
crazy.
But who's realistically gonna play into that?
But it could that's still just a possibility in itself. That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
And then you have like the Fog Blade reviving, like the Break Sword, right? Pop a card with the Bardiche. The only thing I think I've seen that's a flaw with the deck is it's very monster negate heavy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Kind of like Speedroids. That was a problem I noticed with Speedroids. Crystal Wing, and then they slap a spell, a really impactful spell in the field. You're just like, I can't
Storm?
do it.
They're all in attack mode?
I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult.
I know.
Trying to play through spells and traps like.
Back row decks.
I know
Yeah.
you were specifically trying to lab out a way to fix that with what were you running?
Oh, I was just being dumb, and I put like a tiny dinosaur engine in there.
Oh my
It was
God.
pretty much just dino combos off of Misk, and then
Yeah, and then a
Just-
Logia.
end on Logia. I mean, you can end on a lot more than just Logia.
Was it Logia? I think the screenshot you sent had like Logia and Coatlas.
I still have it. Yeah, I put in Codals just for why
Spell
not?
trap, yeah.
Why not? Let me see if I can find it actually.
I mean, you
have
can
it somewhere.
consistently pull that off on the board that it already makes. Like,
Oh my god.
that's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
like I
Oh my
have
God.
Appaloosa, Codals, Logia, Rusty, Evil Swarm Nightmare,
Oh
a
my
set
God.
Fogblade, and then a Break Sword in Graveyard
Oh my
for
God.
Rusty Pop.
That's just too much. That's just too much.
I mean,
You gotta play a bunch of
I-
Greeks though for that, don't you?
you don't really have to play the Codals. It's really just Misk, Ovi, Giant Rex.
Misk OV Giant
It's
Rex
not bad. The
And
small
then-
dino engine with the
Yeah.
PK stuff.
gets the job done.
Or because you're playing Fossil Digs in the Ovi, you can also search Gilosaurus
Oh yeah.
to go into your rank 3 plays.
Yeah,
That's really good.
a little bit of synergy there. I like that. I like that a lot. So, any other decks that
I mean,
could
unless
get
you,
added to the list of like competitors this
I
format?
mean, unless you want to talk striker salad,
I
but
don't want
like,
to talk about Striker.
like,
Let's not talk
it-
about Striker.
It seems like Dogmatica Invoked just like fell off the face of the earth.
that blows my mind.
I don't know why no one's on that deck anymore.
That actually blows my mind because
it
I
was
Colin.
it was everywhere at locals, and
Yeah.
then it just disappeared.
Why?
It didn't get touched. That's like the most
Salad
confusing
Striker.
thing.
But
I think-
you guys know Colin was on that deck. He's schmoovin' with the Shadal
Just-
Vogue
I
deck, and then
think-
he's like, I'm playing Tri Brigade now.
It just made it better with like Bear Bloom and just like people just realizing more about Tri Brigade, like what it can do. I think
Mhm.
over the Dogmatica strategy or like the Invoke stuff.
yeah.
They're just like a better engine.
It still just blows my mind that people gave up Mechaba with Schism and hand traps, basically. Just really solid. Like, that's still a very hard board to out.
It's definitely
Especially with
tough.
the Fleur-de-Lis and all that stuff. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, it's still really good, but like
Just,
literally, like, just never see it anywhere.
yeah, it's just not
Yeah.
as popular anymore. People just want to play Tri Brigade.
I guess so.
Or like newer decks.
I don't see
It's
how
like-
you could want to switch from the Shadal Vogue deck to Tri Brigade, but because I don't find Tri Brigade that interesting, at least from like a playing it perspective. And I know that's not a reason to not play a deck, like especially if you want to like play the actual best deck. If the deck's boring, who cares? You got to play the deck that's going to win you matches and tournaments, right?
Yeah.
But like it just seems like a very, very linear and boring deck. I know it can go a little bit like there's a lot more thought and stuff that goes into it at the end of the day, like
yeah.
perfecting your play lines and stuff, but I would never make the switch from a deck like Shadal Invoked. Even though, I mean, speaking of
Windows
boring and
cracked.
repetitive, yeah, speaking of boring and repetitive, you have normal summon Alistair too, so it's like pick your poison.
Every single
Oh
turn.
my goodness.
Fractal, Kit, Karass, Nerval, rinse and repeat
Yeah.
versus normal summon Alistair, Schism.
Invocation,
Yeah.
fun stuff.
And I think that's probably about it then
Those
for
like the main contenders. There's
Yeah.
definitely like some rogue strategies that could still compete, like
Mhm.
Eldritch strategy,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But definitely a lot less popular, I think.
that's another
Yeah.
deck too that kind of fell off the face of the earth was Eldritch.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that
Okay.
great.
Yeah. And I mean,
It's really-
also Infernoble kind of
Yeah.
peeked back in for a
Yeah.
little bit, which kind of excited me because Kevin was actually showing me at locals because I think I was waiting in between rounds and I happened to see because I got beat very quickly playing Photon. As you do playing that deck, you just get really your opponent ashes you, you pass. It's the saying we have: you ash, I pass, right? Us Photon Galaxy duelist. But I remember I was in between rounds and I saw him doing his combo against. I think it was against Nick. I think he was playing against Nick.
Yeah.
And I remember he wasn't too happy about getting hand looped. I mean, how can anybody be?
Yeah.
But and I saw a equip spell on his field, and I saw metal silver armor.
You're like, what?
And I was instantly like intrigued. I'm like, what? You have to tell me what's going on here. Why do you have metal silver armor equipped? And then after his match, he took time to show me the combo. He had some beautiful alti power tool dragons, the Thule. And he was showing me the combo and go through multiple power tool dragons, the Underworld Fighter, Balmung.
Love that card.
Like when I played in Chernobyl like the first time, I really liked doing the route that involved the Noble Knight of High Lonsland.
Yes.
I think you might remember that because I had to borrow your gold rare one.
Platinum.
And yeah, it was basically the normal summon was focused around OGA or Ogier, however you want to pronounce it, and then or you could do with Connector, which is still a crazy combo, Connector into Dolphin.
It's still an insane card.
Yeah.
Will be till who knows how long, till his old gets banned or something.
Yeah. The day that card goes will be a very interesting day.
Yeah, probably won't ever though.
Yeah.
At this rate.
Yeah, I mean, if Hulk's sticking around, then definitely a Soul's sticking around because
just
Hulk's one of those
bonus
cards
Hulk,
that's on a slippery slope.
Yeah.
They can't like print good tuners anymore after they release that card. That's why I think it will get banned at some point because of like it inhibits game design so much that they can't like make a really good tuner because guess who's gonna, unless it's like if it's level 4 or higher then they can, but if it's level 3 or lower they can't because that's what Hulk can summon. But back to what I was saying, he was showing me the whole combo and it like got so much different than like what I remember it being, because I wanted to play the version that I was used to, which would be going for the level 5 single. You get Gear Feed on board at the 4th summon, so you have the anti-Nibiru route, which is really cool. I was never into the power tool, like reveal 3 combo. DDR, get a DDR, and then go and again get another DDR. Like I didn't like that because part of me was like the equip spell engine has to just be so bricky. Like it seems like it was like a high risk reward. Like you're running a bunch of equip spells, but now I'm starting to notice that like not the case.
Like those are just extenders at the end of the day. And even if like I even saw the guy who was like topped the LCS, he drew Colt Wing.
Yeah, I
and
saw
proceeded
that.
to full combo.
I saw that.
No issue.
And that's what got my juices going when Kevin told me you could do it with the Colt Wing in hand. I was like, there's nothing can stop this deck. It's invincible. I need to summon Charles, the powerful rat.
Charles the Great.
I need to summon him, and I'm
He's
definitely going to be playing that deck again now.
You should.
It might not be the best. It's kind of one of those things that's like, it's got this like.
It's just a deck you love.
The combo too. It's very solitaire. It reminds me of Synchro Fusionist. It reminds me of Block VA. Infernoble is kind of on that list of like combo, and then you just get to this insane board.
Yep. Hand loop, negate. Like
speaks
fun
to
interactive.
Me. Fun interactive, yes. I like when my deck is not fun interactive, but I don't like it when somebody is not fun interactive to me. It's very hypocritical of me, but whatever. So, how can I segue this into the next topic? But I don't
know.
Hand looping is problematic, right?
Yeah, of course.
Nobody likes getting hand looped, but what are some problematic cards this format that nobody likes dealing with that we think should be possibly addressed on the next ban list?
There's quite a few, as always.
I know the one that I'm thinking about the most right now. So anybody who wants to go first, feel free to. But otherwise, I've got my pick, and see if one of you guys say it.
Well, I always think when we think of problematic cards, either one of two that I always want to like be addressed in some way, shape, or form. First of which being the duo, the delinquent duo, you could say, Anaconda and Dragoon. One of those two just needs to go.
Yes.
Like 2 monsters reminds me of just like full Orcus combo. 2 monsters, you get a Dragoon. Like free negates, free.
That's
free
my biggest issue with
free
it.
Game, like.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And then Mystic Mind.
Mystic Mind, yes.
Like that card just should not be a thing. Like I can understand like why it's printed, but like
we already have Dark Ruler and Droplet and Nibiru. We like adding a card like Mystic Mind to the mix doesn't help anything.
Like if you're just not maining spell and trap destruction, they could just deck you out and that's it. That's game. That's not fun.
Or Prank's just burning you.
Yeah, exactly.
Lampseas burn turn after turn after turn, keep recycling.
Or like the Altergeist combo where they just Mellow Seek, spoof in, shuffle it back, no monsters anymore.
Yeah, it's
like all right.
That's the problem. It's like when you look at it from like a standpoint of like you can use it to like buy you a couple turns. Like it would almost have been more fair if Mystic Mine like destroyed itself or banished itself after like
a couple
turns after being activated.
Yes.
That would have been really nice.
That would have been.
But the
better.
problem is like they play it and then you're just like you're at the mercy of the card. Do I draw the out in time? If you're even playing it, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, are they going to just deck me out? Like, am I at the mercy of just waiting for a deck out?
That's why I feel like if you're playing competitively, no matter what big tournament you go to, still play some type of back row removal.
Yeah.
You have to respect that card.
Absolutely.
There's always gonna be that guy.
You don't want to get a game loss just for losing.
You don't want to get caught down bad at Mystic Mine.
Down tremendously with no spell and trap hate. Oh my god.
I remember it reminds me of a rule of thumb that I remember like when we back in like 2016, 2017. Like if we went to any like bigger tournament, it was just like throw 3 Twin Twister in your deck somewhere, whether you put them in the main or side. Just come packing with some spell and trap rule because
just in case you
it
play
certainly
a
won't
matchup.
hurt.
Yeah.
Twinnie's gotten a lot more popular now.
Yeah. Cosmic was
playing
leading the way for a long time, but then Twin Twister kind of has made its way back.
I mean, Eldritch at the time.
Yeah, Cosmic
you didn't
was
want
a lot better.
You didn't want them proccing the grave effects, and even with Dragon Link, like with the tidying.
Get that out as soon as possible, and like even if they should all invoke stuff like Banishing, like Schisms, they can't recur. It's like really good, or Invocation, just like getting it gone. So
or even hitting like a Shaddoll Fusion if you absolutely have to.
Yeah. Or I was wondering why
Pranks,
that evenly matched kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Like really hard for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see why, 'cause people were putting up a lot of like solid, just like negates and judgments at 3. So like, okay, sure, but like, yeah, it just kind of fell off. I feel like this format it might be like okay against certain decks that don't put up like those hard negates, sort of like the Tri Brigade deck. They don't put up any like spell or trap negates or
Sky Striker.
Yeah, PK Striker. Like Salad's not a good example because they have the Roar. But like there's a lot of decks that just don't put up spell and trap negates right now. Like even Virtual World, like they have a Pop and a Shen and like maybe a Dragoon if they're playing that stuff, but I feel like it could be an alright card right now, but just losing battle phase is kind of big, I guess. But I don't know.
I was siding it in Botan the last week, and it helped out a ton.
Yeah.
I sided in specifically against Striker, and I think it literally single-handedly won me that game.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, Evenly is definitely a really strong card, 100%.
But even so, with its loss of popularity, don't you think, like, playing it now still, like, people aren't going to play around it?
Yeah. I think playing it now would probably be a good, like, meta call, kind of, because people are just, like, setting everything, just like not making like spell and trap negates or omni negates, so you could just blow them out pretty much.
Yeah, and even if they do burn a judgment on it, like that's just one less thing you have to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, except their life points gone.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes it a little bit easier for the following turn if you can manage to make it there.
Yes. So we have Anaconda Dragoon as being 2 problematic cards, and I think just to wrap that up is like, I think you said it earlier today in like a group chat, something about like, oh, you burn a negate here on one of my plays. I have 2 monsters left. I get a Dragoon, which single-handedly can just like completely switch the tide of the game.
Yep.
I remember seeing another DB replay from the DB grinder. I almost called him the dueling book grinder.
Dueling book grinder.
Where like I think it was Drytron versus might have been either Dragons or Pranks. And he was at 100 life points. He paid down to 100 life points.
God.
And he went into the Dragoon, blew up both of his opponent's monsters, and ended up dropping him down with a burn effect down to 200 life points.
Oh my God.
And I was going to imagine, like, if he just had, like, a monster with a little bit more attack or just a little bit less life points at a given point, like, that would have just instantly have won him the game right there.
Sealed the deal.
I don't remember if he won that game or not, but, like, same thing with you said with the Orcus combo, like 2 monsters, and I've said a lot, 2 monsters oftentimes gets you way too much in this game. Like
sounds scary.
From like Halk combos to Orcus combos to even now with the access code play, which is stupid. I hate how it says you can't respond to things. I think I want to say access code is a problematic card. I guess it kind of is, because we used to think the same thing about Boral Sword. Every deck can play that OTK button, and it just ends games way too quickly.
Yep. That's something that I always had a problem with. Just like, why can your like control deck just all of a sudden kill me.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Normal summon Valor, make Hulk, summon Valor, bring
like,
and then
why?
go into Celine,
That's
bring it back.
ridiculous. Like, if you're playing control deck, you should be, like, slowly taking the game, not just like, oh, you're dead now.
Yeah.
After, like, one turn of control. Like, cool, thanks.
Although now, like, Imperm and Valor a lot more popular.
That's true.
So, like, Access Code really, like, still isn't that crazy of a problem.
Yeah, that is true.
Because, like, Imperm fell off, like, around Virtual World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Virtual
format.
Drytron format, like, that whole Union Carrier fun combo with Drytron. Oh, God, it was so fun. I miss it, but
I never got to experience it.
Fafnir essentially does the same thing.
Yeah.
But better, arguably, too.
Crazy Xyz card for the deck. 3 effects. Very, very nice.
Yes.
So any other problematic cards you guys can think of this format outside? Like if you had to come up with a card or two that you'd want limited or banned right now outside of the ones we talked about, are there any that come to mind? Mind,
Engage.
Dragoon, Anaconda,
Like,
Engage.
why bring that back?
Get the card out of your
Like,
gun.
give me Colossus back if you're gonna
Oh
put
my
Engage back.
We don't need that.
Colossus is like Colossus is the
Or give
I'm
Thunder a
good.
card that has the same summoning condition as Colossus.
Like a new fusion
a
monster.
new better fusion monster that isn't Titan. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Like,
They got a, what's that card called in the new set? Is the Instant Fusion 2.
Oh, Retort Fusion.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, or I think it's
Yeah.
called Ready Fusion now.
That's such a dumb name.
But you're ready. It's ready. It's ready
so
to eat.
dumb.
It's ready to eat, though.
what did you have to, like, what do you summon off that?
It's a
like
level
needs to be a normal monster.
6 or lower
Normal.
non-effect fusion. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
So
Which made
Kaminari attack.
which made Sea Monster of Thessia spike up too,
True.
and that's got me excited for Mermail too, because like now you can actually play essentially your 4 copies of Instant Fusion,
That's cool.
and then do cross sheep shenanigans with Rare
I
Fish
forgot about that card.
for
So
Bahamut
good.
Shark. Yeah, I think a
Cross
lot of
Sheep.
people forgot about cross sheep.
Really good card still.
Like, it was
Super
so
solid.
hyped before it came out,
Mhm.
and then now it's just like,
it was very
don't see it
underplayed.
anymore.
I
People
feel
forget
like,
it exists.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you only
Game's
played in like Shadal type decks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
that understandable.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be played in Shadal. I remember there was some really cool combos you did with cross sheep and Shadal. I think right when the Shadal structure deck came out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now that Winda is out of the format, I'm sure if we did this podcast pre-banless, we'd all be saying Winda is a problematic card, but now we're not saying Winda's a problematic card.
It's just because everyone was playing it, so it was
Yeah.
like tough. But like
Mhm.
now, there's not as many people playing it. It's just like not a problem anymore. Like there's like other pressing matters to attend.
There's
to.
other pressing matters at
Yeah.
hand.
plus,
That's true.
like, if your opponent's playing Shadal and they open up with the L
Mm-hmm.
and set that, like, even if they play around Schism or if they play through the first window, if you have the set L, you're just
Doesn't
going
matter.
back into another window and
That
you're
is
still
true.
losing.
Yeah. Winda is an interesting card. I definitely don't think it's weird because now I'm gonna say I definitely don't think it needs to be addressed now, but like, it's part of me still like it's
It would be nice if it
with
was.
like Servant, and now that Schism is a card. It's just like Winda
Well,
is so much
it-
more like accessible than it ever
Yeah.
has been.
It's funny that like that got brought up too, because like I remember the early stages of me testing PK.
Mm-hmm.
I would do the Verte shenanigans, but instead of Dragoon and playing the bricks, I would just play Instant Fusion with Winda,
Oh my god!
but you put it under Cherubini, so
Yeah.
it just doesn't die.
Yeah, I remember doing that too in an older
Orcust.
build of BA. I think I used to play,
Mhm.
where you would basically just hope you draw Instant Fusion, put it under your Cherubini, and you'd end up, I think it was like Cherubini window with like a Dawn Dragster or something. It was something really.
And I mean,
Mediocre.
like, that's nothing new too. Like Orcust, I remember, like, they just
played
Instant
Instant-
Fusion played Ding,
Yeah, that's right.
and phase
Protect it.
Ding protects.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of
Was Instant Fusion at 3 for that, or was that at 1?
I think it was still at 1. At
Yeah.
least I'm pretty sure. I
Yeah.
think so.
I don't really remember.
Yeah, I think it was at
It was a
1.
while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, speaking of best, we didn't even talk about Virtual World. We just kind of skipped Virtual
That's a
World.
good deck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
Shen-Shen's
it's
pretty nutty.
Shen is it's FTK against Drytron, right?
I wouldn't say it's better than like any of the other 3 decks, but it's
Mhm.
definitely like right behind those as like a 4th place
A
contender.
respectable contender.
Just because it's another
Yeah.
2-card combo deck that
Yep.
just needs like
Kalo and Lulu.
yeah Lulu,
Kowloon.
Kowloon, or even just like
Kalulu.
any virtual world name plus like Kowloon, just like crazy. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's still like again a 2-card combo. You just see like all spells and traps, and you're like, oh, where's my virtual world monsters? You
Yeah.
just pass. You're just like, all right, go.
Yep.
Kind of.
Kind of like with Drytron, right?
Yeah, if you don't see like a ritual or a Drytron even, you just
Mm-hmm.
hit the fairy engine, you're just like, all right, I'm not doing too much. Just gonna have an orange light and a dream.
Hope
pretty
for the
much.
best, an orange light and a dream, absolutely. So I think we addressed all the problematic cards for this format, and
I think so. There's
think-
not. It's a pretty good format right now.
Yeah, it is. It is
At least
pretty
I would
good.
think, you know.
Yeah. There's some problems, as there always is. There's
Yeah.
something that could always be improved upon, right? But well, actually, one interesting thing I want to talk about. What do you guys think about how they did the remote dual YCS, where they did like pretty much everything the top 32 all in like a day or two, and then they're doing the top 16 and the rest of it like 2 or so weeks later.
I'm not a
I
fan
don't.
of that.
Yeah, same.
I mean, maybe there's logistical reasons they decided to do it, but like, why not just do one more day and finish the top 16?
I think what they wanted to do is like send the top 16 like contestants like stuff to make their setup better, just so it would look nice for the top 16.
Okay.
That
I
makes
think
sense.
that's why they did it.
That
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
it's a little weird that they did it in this way, you know, because it's just like prolonging the event. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they still got to play the same deck lists, like, but like the format could basically change entirely in like a month, like
Exactly,
that,
yeah.
which is really weird.
They're kind of like stuck
In
from
that
when they
format.
started playing.
Yeah.
That
It's
is
really
weird.
But
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, it's cool that they did something big like that, but at the same time, it's like,
I'd rather get it over with.
Yeah.
yeah,
like-
I'm just also not big on remote duels. Like, I never have been.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like kind of whatever about it.
It'd be interesting to see the result of who wins.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll definitely be cool.
Mhm.
And one thing I want to talk about next is recently, I think, I'm not sure when this podcast is going to go up, but I recently just finished doing One Deck 1 Month with Galaxy. And there have been some rough decks on this series, but that has to have been the hardest deck to try to achieve the goal of the series, which is to take a deck, evolve it over the course of that 1 month time, and see how much credit we can rake up, see how many times we can top, in quotes, top with a deck. And we did quite the opposite of that.
Winter was down
Yeah.
bad.
I certainly was.
Kind of
I-
jikes, if you will.
Yes.
I think I turned around a little bit at the very end, because now I'm kind of like sad that I'm not playing anymore, because it was really fun. The deck certainly did get a lot better, so we kind of succeeded in that aspect, but like
No credit was won, was there?
no credit was won, but I think the deck now is better than it was at the beginning, so that aspect, that's good, but
It's so unfortunate though, because like the deck and the art just look so good,
it is a very nice looking deck,
especially with
exactly.
those alties.
Yep, Alti,
Good enough police department.
yeah, Alti Galaxy Eyes. You've got the Alti 62, 107 comes Alti. Like, I was playing the Alti Falgran. I do want to get Ghost Galaxy Eyes first. Ghost Galaxy Eyes.
Sheesh.
Because that's a deck that I really want to max out, kind of like my Mermail deck, because it's like very near and dear.
Yes.
But it really goes to show that how much that deck lacks in terms of support. It's crazy, especially when you take a deck like that. Like, you play it in testing matches here and there, you're like, oh, this deck's not too bad. And you go to it locals with it, and you're like, this deck is awful.
God awful.
It's gonna be a nice change of pace going forward with Drytron, which I'm glad I'm switching to. And the only reason I think I wanted to play Drytron is because it's a ritual based deck, which I've been very fond of ritual based decks in the past, like Nekroz. Did you ever play Nekroz? No.
Never a ritual
I-
user.
Even like playing in that whole format, EA, tellers, everything. I don't think I ever played Nekroz once.
Wow.
It was,
That
it was
crazy.
It was usually like BA mirror matches, once in a while shit-alls,
Mhm.
and then a lot of tellers.
Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy. Because our locals was primarily Nekroz for
Yeah.
a long
A
time.
lot of Nekroz players. I think
Yeah.
after, because I remember I tried to pick up Nekroz and I didn't get like everything I needed. I think I was like missing Valks. I didn't have
Yeah, I
Valks the
remember
longest
that.
time. And I think I switched. I think before I was playing Infernoid, because I'm like, I'm never going to be able to complete the deck. But I remember for a couple locals, I was able to borrow everything I needed. And oh my God, talk about a power trip.
Oh my
What was the mic art? Brio?
Brio was like $150 on release. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Especially when you think like Diviner. Diviner's a crazy card. Like Diviner the Herald's a nuts card. It's only $60. That's the one thing I've noticed with Yu-Gi-Oh recently. We'll just transition from their past topic. Is that I don't know if this is like something people like more, but it seems like now that your best engine cards in decks, like the starters, the searchers, the rotas, all this stuff, like for archetypes, has gotten cheaper, because I feel like 5 years ago, if Diviner came out for a ritual based deck, it would have been $100 a copy. But now it's like it's kind of flipped a little bit, where Diviner's almost like, I think, settling near 50.
Yeah.
Mubeta Fafnir is insane.
Like $10.
$10 card.
I don't even know if it was that
Like,
cheap.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's mind blowing almost. Like, but then on the opposite side of the spectrum, you have
Staples.
You have your Stimmy. You have Prosperity. You have Talents. You have Droplets. Lightning Storm used to be on this list, but I mean, it's still, depending on your
Still up
budget,
there.
still kind of up there. $100+ a card.
Yeah.
Like that's
I
insane.
I think the thing with that though is like Diviner Mubeta, that's specific to Drytron.
Yeah.
Whereas like Droplets, Lightning Storm, Pot of Prosperity, like all that stuff is just generically good.
Yeah.
No matter
That is true,
what.
Yeah.
And
I guess
even
those cards like that didn't really exist back then either in that particular format.
and like even
Not
if it
necessarily
like
that high rarity either.
Yeah.
even if like they go out for whatever reason, like out of the format,
Mm-hmm.
they can always come right back.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I guess the question I would ask then is like, would the players prefer it be like that then? Like your staple cards for certain decks be very cheap, and then like the staple generic cards be like ridiculously expensive, or like vice versa?
I would rather have it vice versa. I'd rather have staples be cheap and
Yeah.
then like a specific couple cards for a deck be more expensive.
So you'd rather have, for example, just in Drytron's case, Diviner be $100 and
Talents be,
Droplets
like,
and
$10.
Talents be like 40,
Yeah.
$10 to $50.
Yeah, like
See, I'm
in that
the
range.
opposite on that though. Like
I kind of agree with Adam here.
Yeah. 'Cause I think it's because we played Pokemon.
Yeah.
And we're used to these like dollar staples that you could play on any deck, or even like $10 staples.
Yeah.
And then you have like not even like the decks in that game like aren't expensive,
Mhm.
but like all like the most busted cards are like literally like commons, and like you can
Yeah.
just play 4. And if you want a high rarity them, you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like you just don't have a choice. You have to play like the expensive staples.
Because, like,
at
for
all
example, if I'm
times.
playing Photon, which is a rogue deck,
Yeah.
I shelled out. I sold my talents, which I regret,
Yep.
but I had to shell out to get Prosperity to make that deck consistent, and it did make it consistent. I can vouch on that. I would recommend any Galaxy player Prosperity if you could afford it over a trade-in and Desires. But, like, it takes my rogue deck, and I'm like, okay, I can make my rogue deck better at the low cost of, if I want all of those 9 Stimmy staples, $900 for 9 cards.
insane.
To any human being, whether you play Yu or not, that sounds a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unless you just got disposable income, then good for you.
By all means.
But I think I would agree with you more so than you, just because like I could play Speedroid, and then for a couple $100 I get all those 9 Stimmy staples, and I can make Speedroid as best as it possibly can
Yeah,
be.
exactly.
And if I want to play the meta deck, I'll shell out to play the meta deck if I feel it's really
Yes.
worth it. If I want to be super competitive, if events are on the horizon, etc., etc.
Yu-Gi-Oh was like that. I feel like when Zoo Draco format,
absolutely,
with
yeah.
Diagram and Barrage being so expensive, but then like Ash was only like $40.
Yeah.
Like sure, I'll pick up a place out of Ash for like near $100. Like sure, like it's the same expense compared to like whereas Barrage is like $100 a copy
Oh
for
my
some
god,
time.
yeah,
Like,
Mirage, yeah.
it was nuts.
yeah, my mindset with all that is just because I'm always broke. But
True. Same here.
I'd much rather have the starters be cheaper and actually be able to play the engine, play the entire deck,
Mm-hmm.
and then like the staple cards,
Make
like you
do.
can make do with alternatives for the
Yeah.
time being.
That
and
is
then
a
work
good way
your
to
way
look
up.
at it.
But like, case in point, like playing PK,
Yeah.
play 3 tour guide.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I not want to have tour guide in the deck? Like, granted, it's a common right now, so like
That's true.
that's throwing it out there. But
If there was only one rarity per se of
if
Tour
it was
Guide,
only the secret rare,
yeah.
like I'd much rather it be a lot cheaper, a lot easier to get than have it be super expensive and I can't even play the deck at its.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. So you'd
Kinda
rather
highest
be able to
capacity.
like play the deck as a whole, and then cards that may boost it, you'll make do with like substitutes. Like for example, like Dark Ruler versus Droplets. Dark Ruler is way cheaper than compared to Droplets.
That is a good way to look at it.
Versus like I want to be able to play any deck, or I want to be able to play. I'll pay whatever money for any deck, and then everybody has access to the staples they need to be competitive. So, what do you guys think down in the comments?
That's a really interesting question. I really thought about it the way you were thinking of it, but I could see why I could maybe agree with that sort of standpoint.
Like, you want to play Drytron, you don't want to spend $1,000 on Drytron. Yeah, you could, play like Prosperity and Talents and all that stuff in there, but like
the core would be so expensive where you could just pick like a cheaper deck to play.
Yeah, exactly. So you get the whole you can play Drytron as is without all the expensive staples and just be able to play Drytron, and then like I said, Dark Ruler's a replacement, Desires is a replacement technically for something like Prosperity. You could play like Imperm, all this other stuff. So yeah, I definitely get both sides of the argument, but I'm definitely on side make the staples cheaper 100%.
Also, especially with like all of Corona season. Like DB's gotten so much popular, so many more online tournaments and everything. Like those staples you could still enter in tournaments for. Like you go on what was it, Luxury? Yeah, Luxury. They were always posting tournaments for cards. Like a lot of the times it was staples. Yeah. You could enter in tournaments
for a playset of Droplets.
I mean, you're playing against like really cracked players. So like the average Joe, it's gonna be very difficult. But even so, like you have a shot at getting those expensive staples
for say like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of our friends hosted a tournament like that.
Goody 17.
Goody 17.
Hosted a Droplets tournament and a Kagari tournament.
Yep.
Alti, right?
Alti, yeah.
Alti Kagari, yeah.
Very nice, yeah.
Who won that? It was Alex won the Droplets tournaments. And
oh yeah, because he's cracked on the prank kids.
Yeah, and I was meeting him in the finals for that too.
Oh yeah,
I was so close.
You were playing Drytron?
No, I was on Shadal.
You were Dogmatica. Shadal Dogmatica. That's right. You were because you were playing Earth Machine, right?
Yeah, I was playing Earth Machine, but
you didn't want to play it on DB.
I didn't want to play it on DB, and I just wanted to play like a better, more consistent deck.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that was the choice, and I just lost to pranks in the finals. I was this close, and I punted it. I definitely did.
I faced both you and Alex in that tournament.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
The team kill.
Yeah.
So I think now we'll move on to Dawn of Majesty leaks.
Yes.
Specifically, is there any?
Let me get my list.
Yeah,
I'll
let you get the list up.
So hold on a second.
I know specifically some things I saw today were, Stardust Synchron. Which looked really good. I don't know if it's that good, but I saw the new Secret Rare Stardust Synchron looked really, really cool. And I noticed there was something up with like the Despia archetype.
Oh, the Owlbear, like the searcher.
Yeah, it's
he's misprinted.
Yeah,
and I think I think the EU is where he only searches Despia cards, which is like one card.
Yeah,
but then the one here searches branded cards, which is like a whole huge like archetype of cards, pretty much. So I think I hope they fix that for EU because I don't think that's correct. It's supposed to search the branded cards and not Despia cards. So, but yeah, they got the whole like set list out pretty much right now, except the Starlight Rares, except Stardust Dragon, Starlight just cracked. So yeah, they have the Starlight Rare, Stardust, and then there's a whole bunch of Secret Rares. I don't think there's many like super crazy ones. If you want to take a look with this here with me, it's Aluber's one. Iris Sword Soul is the new hand trap girl. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Doesn't it look like looks like Fleur-de-Lis?
Yeah, it's Fleur-de-Lis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the Iris Sword Soul is what she's called now.
Swordmaster the Bewitching Iris was its name beforehand,
that was the original name, but that's a secret. I think that's probably the best secret. The Anti-Human Intelligence Messiah.
I saw that too.
It's a pendulum card. It's
Messiah.
Really weird.
Yeah. Kelly Effect showed that on his channel yesterday because he got to do some like leaks.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Sponsored Konami video, and he showed that card. It has like a really busted pendulum effect.
Yeah,
it's like a one line. Yeah, any non-monster card sent to the graveyard is banished instead.
That's pretty good.
That's low-key cracked against like Striker. That's an FTK against Striker.
But then they got the Ready Fusion. It's really good. They have 3 Stardust cards. Oh my goodness. And the
Digusto?
The Gizmex.
The Gizmek cards.
The whole Gizmek like is an archetype now. That's so cool. I think I want to pick that deck up. That's probably my favorite part of the set, honestly.
Is this set looking like a set that like people would like? Would you buy a case of this set with somebody?
If you really wanted like Despia or like, like
A
Gizmek
Starlight Rare
stuff.
Stardust Dragon.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a case like shell out
right
on,
off the bat, right off the rip. This doesn't look like a set that's gonna just sell, right?
It might, but like
kind of like a Rise of the Duelist type set.
Nowhere near.
Okay.
It's definitely one of those intermediate type sets.
Better or worse than Phantom Rage?
I think Phantom Rage was much better.
I think this Phantom Rage is probably
Zeus was in that set, right? Yeah.
Zeus.
Alpha's kind of mids, but
yeah.
you had the whole Virtual World archetype, pretty much.
Torn Scales,
Torn Scale, yeah. But so I would say this is definitely a lot lower on that, but there's still some cool cards in here.
The Sue Ship stuff is near too.
It's all like very low rarity too.
Row class first Wardish.
The entire Sue Ship archetype is like all common.
That's
but
cool.
There's only like 4 cards, I think, so like it's nothing crazy, but they're pretty good cards.
Isn't this the set the new Live Twin?
Yes, there's a new Live Twin. No, not the new, like the girl. It's they get a Tenki basically for the girls, like the Live Twins. Okay. So which is really good though. Like they definitely needed something like that instead of just like sign it mining.
Albion the Black Clad Dragon.
Yeah, that's part of the whole Despy archetype.
And Fallen of Albaz too.
Ooh, there's the new Chronomaly rank 5. Really good card.
Yeah, there's also Chronomaly Megala Globe too.
Yeah, that's a really good card for like the Chronomaly strategy.
Man, why are they giving Chronomaly support? And it's that good, but they give Galaxy Hyper Galaxy, man. What the fuck is this, dude? What is this? Like, am I right? I have a right to be upset about this.
Globe is really good for the deck.
Like, what the hell, man?
And there's the Magic Key archetype, which I don't know anything about, honestly, so I can't even like begin to say. But it's all pretty low rarity, except for like the 2 Ultras, I think. Oh, and the Wind Wolf.
Yes, for Speedroids.
Yes, for Speedroids.
Yes, let me read this effect off for all my Speedroid fans out there.
1 month revamp.
We will be doing a, I don't know what to call it, like Volume 2 or Take 2 or whatever.
Round 2. Fight.
Yeah, Round 2. So it's a level 9, 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monster, wind, 25 attack, 0 defense. You can only control one of them. While this card has 4,000 attack, while this card has less than 4,000 attack, each time another monster's effect is activated, this card gains 200 attack. Immediately after it resolves, once per turn, if this card has 4,000 more attack, quick effect, you can shuffle this card and all monsters your opponent controls into the deck.
It's a really good card.
Pretty correct.
It's a very, very good card because you can like use your own effects too for that.
Yep. Just load it up to 4,000 and then just let it rip on the opponent's turn.
It would be more busted if it's at all cards, but like, I feel like Monsters is already pretty busted.
I mean, against Prank, is they normal like any color, just chain, shuffle back into the deck?
You could, but maybe I would wait till a little bit later in the combo.
And then they go Pandemonium, and then you negate with Baroness de Fleur, but that's not out yet until January.
So sad. But what do you guys didn't see any of the new archetype though, did you?
What is the new archetype?
Bee Troopers.
Oh, I saw the artwork, but I didn't read anything about it.
Yeah,
people are saying they're gonna be pretty good, but I don't think so.
Kind of mids.
They
Insect
say
archetype
they're saying
too.
It's better than Warrock, but like I think Warrock's kind of better. Cause
well, if people are comparing it to Warrock, then it's just bad already.
Yeah. But they were saying it's gonna be better than Warrocks, but like they're insects.
Yeah.
And all the Link monsters say you're locked into insects, so it's like, okay.
Just cricket noises.
Yeah, like I don't want to be locked into insects.
Literally cricket noises.
Like I don't know if somebody's gonna like break the deck and like do something crazy with it without like being locked into insects, but like. If you're locked in insects, like, what are you really doing? So there's no good, like, insect monsters. Sort of like how there's not that many great reptiles.
There's a lot of actually cool cards in the set now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Like, have you read Synchro Overtake?
Doesn't that, like, add a synchro with, or a specific
I'm pretty sure you can use the search, like, Deep Sea Diva and Mermail, too. It says reveal one synchro monster in your extra deck, and if you do, and add to your hand or special summon one of the synchro materials whose name is specifically listed on that card, from your deck or graveyard. You can activate one per turn. You can add special monsters from the extra deck. The turn you activate except synchros.
So that's kind of, but like you get to summon like a tuner that like specific from decks like
Deep Sea Diva,
Plague Spreader comes to mind.
Spreader.
There's actually a new card in here, TCG exclusive. It's like a big Night End Sorcerer. Do you know what that card is?
I know what Night End Sorcerer is.
There's like a synchro that's based off it now. It looks really cool. It's like it's got like a DD Crow type effect. It's like a level 6 synchro, and it specifically takes Night End Sorcerer.
Interesting.
Let me try to pull it up in this list here. Night End's Administrator.
That's a nice name.
Takes Night End Sorcerer and a non-tuner. This card is special summoned, or for another spellcaster, special summoned to your field. Target one card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. If this card is destroyed in battle or this card in its owner's monster zone is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 level 4 or lower spellcaster in your grave, special summon it. You only use it once per turn.
Not even bad.
Yeah,
Not
it's a
even
very
bad.
solid card.
Oh, and we're also getting the level 2 vanilla fusion too, which I'm assuming is gonna, and it's a tuner.
Yes, that's
retort
a very cool
target.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Very
That's
cool
gonna
card.
be kind of nutty.
One card was an import that I thought was really interesting and kind of like underrated. It's a super rare. It's called Link Apple.
Link Apple.
You reveal it, and basically you banish a card from your extra deck randomly, face down. And if it was a Link monster, you special summon it. But if not, I think it gets sent to the graveyard, but you draw a card. So it's sort of like an upstart if
That
you're
is
not playing
kinda
like a
nice.
fusion deck.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing like a fusion Synchro XC deck.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be like an upstart type card that could see a lot of play personally.
Let me pull it up on Wikipedia because on the site I'm on I can't see it. But what it says it's Link Apple.
Link Apple, yeah, it's
Is
level.
it all one word?
Yeah, no, it's a Link space Apple. It's a
Okay.
Cyberse level 1 fire, 0 attack, 0 defense. But it sounded to me just like basically an upstart goblin if you were playing like anything that wasn't like a Link
And you
oriented
can
strategy.
search it off Signet Mining too.
Yeah, I
If you
mean,
really wanted to. Reveal this card in your hand. Banish 1 random face down card from your extra deck. Then if it's a Link monster, special summon this card. Otherwise, discard this card. And if you do, draw 1 card.
just sounds like an upstart goblin to me.
So upstart with more steps.
Yeah, like
Wow.
if you're playing a deck that doesn't care about the extra deck either, it's literally just upstart. I was like
Yeah.
thinking about playing it in like Gren Maju or like Cosmo or something, just like reveal, pitch it, draw. Like, sounds
Wow.
kind of nice.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah,
No.
I think that card's kind of slept on.
Yeah, I didn't even know that card existed until you
Yeah.
brought it up. And then we also have Pendulum Treasure too, which is a new card.
Electromite, but a spell card.
Yes, add a pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck, face up. You can only activate 1 per turn. Literally.
Electromite's.
Are we
effect
supposed to
spell.
get new Metal Foes cards?
We already got
We did.
those.
Oh yeah.
No,
What?
but they didn't do anything. They're not
Wow.
great. They're not good.
Wow.
That's how much Electromite
Helps the
helps
deck.
pendulums.
Wow, that did.
Yes. All right. Nobody's touching those
I'm
cards.
sorry to all the Metal Foes players out
Metal
there.
Foes enjoyers.
Wow.
Oh, there's another interesting card. Oh wait, you're gonna say something? Good. A high ritual art.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the reverse of advanced ritual art. You attribute normal monsters to summon ritual monster from your deck,
Uh-huh.
and that's like what it is. And I think it like gets shuffled back during the end phase or something. But I
Wait,
thought
so
that was
you
pretty cool.
attribute normal
attribute
monsters?
normal monsters you control either from hand or field
Okay.
to summon a ritual monster from your deck.
Instead of doing
Instead
normal
of
monster from deck,
deck,
summon one from hand.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like the reverse of advanced ritual art.
Interesting.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
There are definitely some cool cards in this set, 100%.
But yeah, I think those were like the main like cards that stuck out to me at least.
The shooting Majestic Star Dragon looks sick. I
Oh,
hope
yeah.
that's a Starlight rare too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that
Stardust Synchron's another secret rare too.
yeah, I don't know what that. I don't know what any of that stuff does. Like the whole
Yeah.
Stardust archetype.
Oh wait, these are all
No
the
clue.
secrets right here. 15 secrets in the set, or is that? Does that
No,
sound right?
that's the. Well, there should be 14 ultras, and then 10 secrets.
'Cause I'm on
26 supers.
YGOProDeck.com right now, and they have it listed out as like rare. These are the rares. There's Matic secret rares. There's no way these are all Starlight rares, but
No, yeah,
is Retort Fusion gonna be a secret rare?
yeah, it's a secret rare.
Okay, yeah.
Ready Fusion, yeah.
That card's gonna be. I need to.
I
play
really
some of that
wonder what
card.
the other Starlights are gonna be though in this set, because this is one of those weird sets where it's kind of
Go ahead
hard
and
to
guess right now. Just go ahead and guess.
I
if you had
couldn't
to.
even guess.
Okay,
dude.
just guess one. Besides Stardust, I want to see if we're all correct. You can make a guess too.
Well, I mean, past sets they've been just taking like hand traps, like DD Crow, Valor, making them
But
into.
Stardust is the one for this set.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
Black Rose was the one for last set. Just like cool, like older cards.
Ash Blossom Starlight.
That'd be cool for a set.
I would want like Skullmeister if anything. Just
Yeah.
like I like the older cards.
True.
Rather
That's a
give
good
them
choice.
Rarity bump.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only card I could guess out of these that would be like a
My
Starlight.
guess is gonna be Retort Fusion's gonna be a Starlight.
That's a pretty good guess.
I'm gonna guess
I would
that.
agree with that. I would say Iris Sword Soul might be a
Iris
Starlight
Sword
too.
Soul?
Yeah.
What about you, Dan?
Probably the Jester, whatever.
The Jester.
However the hell you pronounce that.
Albert.
Oh, for the Despia archetype.
Yeah, that'd be
Is it ALU?
Alubear, yeah.
I mean, if they made the Unchained guys Starlight, like one of them, I feel like they could do that.
They could definitely do that. I wouldn't doubt it.
All right, and now just to wrap this segment up, just at a glance, I'm gonna rate Dawn of Majesty right now a 7 out of 10.
I would say the same.
You think
it's
so
very
too?
middle of the road, maybe a little bit better than middle of the road, but
I give it a 6.
Was it better than Blazing Vortex? I know that set wasn't that hot.
I think it was.
It had pot in it though.
It
Prosperity.
did.
Oh yeah, that's
Pot,
right. It
but
had Prosperity.
that
though.
carried it though.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing else in that.
Was
set.
Lightning Overdrive better than?
Oh yeah, Diviner, Move
Yeah,
Beta,
Move Beta, yeah.
Amazements if you were into that thing.
If you're an Amazement enjoyer.
Yeah, there's like Trap Tricks cards even.
Yeah.
Just I think more like popular archetypes I would say.
So 7 out of
Versus
10
this.
here, and then a 6 out of 10 from you. Okay. And we all have our Starlight guesses in, so when it gets announced, you come back to this video, and you'll find that I'm the only one that's right.
That's Cap.
He might be, but that's probably Cap.
Now, to wrap up this wonderful podcast, we'll move into everybody's favorite segment, Discord
The cast
Q&A.
Love to see him. Let's see what do we got.
So yeah, basically for those that don't know, I have a Discord, link in the description of all my videos. Join it before we film every podcast. I will ping everybody and say, hey, drop a question. We're filming the podcast, so try to answer all of them. So definitely join the Discord.
It's a very fun section.
Absolutely. We'll start with our first question here from DJ. He asks, will I be able to finish college? I hope so.
Yeah, sure hope
I
so.
hope so. Don't spend all your money on cardboard. Make sure you can buy those textbooks. They are expensive. Then next up we have Converse 1240. Will I become the best Yu-Gi-Oh player?
You'll be the best there is, baby.
I'm not gonna comment on that. I mean, I hope you do.
Yes.
Now I can say the best Yu-Gi-Oh player ever is in my Discord. So yeah, you know what? When I put it that way, yes, absolutely. Let's see here. Favorite archetype legacy support card.
Ooh. That's really cool.
I have my answer.
You should go first, thing.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what like legacy support is obviously like new support for older archetypes, but like how new does it have to be? I mean, if I had to answer that question, I'd probably say there's a couple cards that come to mind. I'd probably say Neptibus is
I was
my
thinking the same
favorite
thing for
piece
you.
of legacy
I
support.
was figuring you were gonna say something to do with water, but that's a really good legacy support.
Because that single-handedly revived Mermail and has kept it going ever since 2016. So that's what I would say. What about you?
Me, that's tough.
The fabled Nekroz trap card we're never getting?
I mean, we did just get, I don't know how to say his name, the level 10 one.
Abriadir
Bahir or something. He's really cool, but he definitely doesn't put the deck up to like
on the map again.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Nekroz is at full power.
I
It's not doing
mean,
anything.
does Zeus count as legacy support for Zoo?
No, it doesn't. No.
Like, I don't even know like what I would say to that, because there's been like,
Should all, you could say.
I guess Apclone and Wendy are both really good in
Yep.
Schism.
That's definitely legacy support.
Yeah, I'd say that's
I think I know what Dan's going to say.
It's probably my
what
favorite.
am I gonna say?
I think you're going to say Cherubini.
Well, how'd you know
I
that?
think you're going to say Cherubini 100%.
Yeah, I don't really know, because all the decks I play like just don't, or like that I liked in the past just aren't getting like good / like legacy type support. Like, where's my Cosmo support? There hasn't been a Cosmo card in I don't even know how long, dude. Since
What was the last Cosmo card?
Dark Planet or something. Like, it was in
Really?
that set, yeah.
Nothing else since
Nothing.
then? Wow.
I mean, unless you want to count Storm Dragon's Return.
yeah.
Like, the deck just doesn't get anything, man. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I love Cosmos, but like
Mm.
they just don't ever get support of any shape or form.
Yeah, that's true. We need new Cosmo. I will champion for that. New Cosmo support.
Please just give them a card. It just could be like a normal spell card, even a trap. Just summon a Cosmos Psychic from deck.
Yeah.
That's all it has to do. Like, it would just fix the problems of the deck. Because if you
Could
draw,
it lock you into Cosmos for the rest of the turn?
or lock you into Psychics or Machines or something.
Yeah.
Like,
That doesn't even sound bad.
yeah, like, come on, dude. Like, they just
Because E-Tally's stuck at 1, it seems like, for a while.
Reason's at 1 forever too. Like,
Yeah.
they just needed cards that can put Cosmos on the board. That's all they need to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell you're fine.
That's not enough.
It's not
It's
enough.
really not enough. Oh my
It's
god,
not
it's
enough.
so stressful because I always want to like I always think about it for each format 'cause I love that deck.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it just never. It's always gonna have the same problem if it doesn't have some card that just puts more of them on the field.
Yeah.
So like a card like that would just be so perfect for the deck, and I think it would be just like. I don't want to say like a competitive deck by any means, but like
Would
I
be
feel like it'd be a
playable.
solid
It'd be-
rogue choice.
yeah.
yes.
It'd be a lot stronger,
Yes.
for sure.
And if I didn't guess your card, what is your favorite piece of Legacy support?
It's definitely Cherubini.
My man. Honestly, I would have said Cherubini too if I didn't have to go for Neptibus for the water, but Cherubini is insane.
BA will always be near and dear to my heart.
Same here.
First
Same
deck
here.
I ever played, so I mean...
Dante.
I mean, same. I mean, that's basically the first meta deck I ever played too. Was Burning Abyss too. When triple Dante set Fire Lake, or even just triple Dante pass was like the best board.
Really good, yeah.
I miss just activating Fire Lake on people.
I believe me, I do too, man.
I can't relate.
Especially when you're playing against a Clifford player.
Dante, Scarm Surge,
Yep.
Graph.
You're playing against a
doesn't
poor,
stop.
unsuspecting Clifford player, and they have vanities up, a skill drain, and 2 scales. You blow up the 2 scales, the skill drain, and the emptiness just goes away with it, and then you OTK them with BLS and double Dante.
Yep.
Times were simpler back then.
I just want to summon blue cards.
He wants to summon blue cards.
They're
yes.
blue.
All right.
What's next on the list?
Phantoms asks a pretty expected question from Phantoms, because for those that don't know Phantoms, man, this guy's got quite the collection. I'll just leave it at that, because if you know, you know. But he says, what's your favorite card in your collection, Winter, besides the DMOC? Okay. I'll go first while you guys think. I guess if I had to not say my Gem Mint 9.5 Dark Magician of Chaos from Dark Revelation 2, if I had to not choose that specific card I just mentioned that I made a video about, which you should go watch because it did not see enough love, link below, I would probably have to say the Egyptian God cards are some of my favorite cards of all time. Very nostalgic. I remember specifically back in the day being a kid, getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Around 6th grade and being like, the Egyptian God cards are the most powerful cards in existence. I don't care about Blue Eyes. I don't care about Dark Magician. I have to have the Egyptian Gods. And I remember way back when I wanted to get them, I was constantly begging my mom, like, Mom, please let me get the Egyptian God cards. I'll be the most powerful duelist in the land. I'll be the best duelist in the neighborhood. I'll be able to crush all my friends. With like the 2 friends that I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Against back in 6th grade. And I was like, I have to have them. even when I was way younger, playing like 2005 with my brother, like the Egyptian Gods, like Exodia, all that. So there's a set of Egyptian God cards from GB1 from the Game Boy, and they came in Ultra Rare, and they came in like this beautiful prismatic Secret Rare, and they make the new Millennium Pharaoh's Rares look like doo-doo trash. And the reason why the foiling looks cool on those cards, but they don't have the colored fronts and backs. That is what makes an Egyptian God card an Egyptian God card, because it doesn't have the standard color in the back and in the front. Raw is yellow, Obelisk is blue, and Cypher is red. By the way, that's my favorite God card. But I have the whole set, and unfortunately, when I bought them many, many years ago, I didn't realize that they came in Ultra Rare and Secret Rare, all of them. I thought just Raw came in Secret Rare, because when I received my set, Cypher and Obelisk were in Ultra Rare, and Raw was in Secret Rare. And the Raw is now, I think, besides that beautiful 9.5 Gem Mint Dark Magician of Chaos from Dark Revelation 2, if I had to say what my favorite cards would be, I would say it's LP near mint. It's kind of borderline light play near mint. Depends on who you ask. It would be that Secret Rare Winged Dragon of Ra from GB1 from, I think, 2004 it came out in. I would say that's my favorite card in my collection. And I'll hand it off to whoever wants to go first over here.
Nice card. You can go ahead.
Well, I don't really have much of a collection anymore, considering I got robbed. But
Press F.
twice,
F.
twice, yes.
Two Fs in the chat.
2 Fs. But I just probably like my favorite card that I had that I just wouldn't get rid of. It wasn't expensive at all, but it was the Ghost Rare Malakota of the Burning Abyss.
Oh yeah,
Burning Abyss is just
loves BA.
loves BA, but Malakota just looks so sick, and I remember pulling him and just getting super excited over it. It was like first getting in. Well, I mean, I was already in for a while before Malakota came out, but like I never pulled a Ghost Rare or anything at that point.
Yep.
But I was just super hyped for it.
First high rarity pull, absolutely. Like when I pulled that Dark Magician of Chaos from Dark Revelation 2, which I got graded and came back a gem at 9.5. And I got a centering and edges, by the way.
By the way.
Anyways, what were you saying?
I don't think you actually pulled it.
There's a video on my channel that strictly details me pulling said card. I'll leave a link down in the description. Actually, I don't know. I gotta stop. The more I say I'll leave a link down below, is the more I'll forget. But go ahead, continue. Probably rudely interrupted.
No,
Ghost Rare Malakota.
just Ghost Rare Malakota.
That's a good choice. That is a good choice.
It just looks dope.
Yep.
Sucks, but he just looks
Sucks, but it looks dope, and that is a
Yes.
favorite argument of mine.
So, mine's like it's like tied between 3 cards, right? So I love Bujinki Amaterasu. First, I have a first ed Prio Ghost and a first ed Prio Ulti, and they just look so good. And then I turn the page in my book. There's my playset of Ghost Gores.
Oh, Gores.
And the one has no name on it.
Yep, no name misprint.
No name misprint, just a Ghost Gores, no name. I was like, oh my god. And the third card is I actually just pulled it recently out of the Gold series. That's notorious for misprints.
Oh yeah,
Mapalooza.
Yes.
There's like, it's just horribly misprinted. It's very hard to describe. I'll have to take a picture of it and just show you guys. But like the bottom right corner has like white on it. It just like there's nothing there. It's literally just white. It's just like a very small like little like triangle type shape.
Interesting.
And like the gold border is totally shifted. And like the bottom border is just like almost non-existent. And there's like that white there that's like popping up. It looks really weird. I definitely like throw a picture of it. A picture of it on screen. So people could like see. But it's a really cool card.
Interesting. Some very, very good choices. Very, very good choices. Next up from Academic Thick asks, would I unban Bruce? This is one of those things where if you know, you know, and the answer to that question is a hard no. I would not unban Bruce ever.
You're gonna have to tell me the lore.
At a later
I'll have to
date.
tell you at a later date because that's a long story.
This is storyline of Bruce.
Next up, Monado Boy, the one and only your boy Monado. Yes. How do you acquire your cards? Buy them from local store, online, local sell / trade groups. I do a little bit of everything, but primarily I mostly buy from TCG Player. By the way, use my affiliate link down in the description below.
You better use it.
Yes, but I usually buy offline. And then, like I said, I dabble in pretty much everything he mentioned, but mainly I go straight to the source. I go right to tcgplayer.com or eBay if I need to.
So I usually try to get stuff local first. If nobody has it, then I go online. But I also have recently just like love just like going on like Facebook groups like YBM.
Claim sale.
Claim sales.
This man has a
love
claim sale
sales.
problem. He's got
Claim
a claim
sales are so
problem.
fun. Even on Instagram too, there's a whole bunch of like pages of how they do them.
Uh-huh.
You just find some cool stuff that you're like, oh, I didn't really know that I wanted this, but now I do.
Especially because you're a sucker for foreign cards.
And
you
yes.
find a lot of those.
Yeah, and like YBM, there's a whole bunch of people selling foreign, and I love foreign. So like, that's usually where I go to like, get all my stuff from. Is primarily claim sales, but first locally. Then I'm kind of a last resort TCG Player kind of guy. Like if I don't have to order it, then I will order if no one has it. But,
yeah.
I gotta say though, the best plug is definitely Villard's TCG. He's constantly opening the boxes. So I mean, half the time when I need something, he's usually cracking a box anyways. So just ask him for it. Usually gives a homie deal. So
there are a lot of people in our area too that open a lot of product.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like shout outs to Matt Nask. Buys a case of like every set. You're goated. You're goated, Matt. Thank you.
Yes, if you're watching this, shout outs to the one and only Matt Nask, who's never misplayed or hot cheated on the camera.
Never, not once.
Not once. I'm just kidding, obviously. Next up, Riker71 says, has the Engage unbanned been as bad as people thought? We'll just quickly answer these. I honestly would say no.
I don't think it has been either. Deck sucks.
No? All right. Most problematic card in the format. We actually already talked about that. We both think it's somewhere between Anaconda and Dragoon, or all of us think that. And then he asks, when will I stop bricking?
Never.
It's just part of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Every deck will brick.
You
no matter
always
what
draw
it is.
driver.
Yep.
Psychic Soldier Red's in the battle on a Psychic Amplifier known as Cyframe.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Or something like that.
Another question from Academic Thick, and this one I don't really want to answer. What I'm doing is, what makes you think acquiring Drytron will make you a better player?
And he is the, what's that emote called?
Keck W.
No, that is Keck W.
That's Keck W.
Yeah, it's the
Keck VV.
Keck VV and then. Why do I always draw my one-ups is his next question. And then somebody said stacking.
Stacking, yep. And then does seeing Pika sleep make you salty? That is a Discord reference. If you know, you know, and only mildly. I will take away Pika sleep again. I will do it. These people in Discord, man, they don't know how to use Pika sleep properly.
Oh, new video.
Yeah, new video. Winner posts a new video. Sleep. Oh, he worked 2-3 weeks on this video. Sleep him out.
Resident sleeper.
Hey guys, really cool video going on tomorrow. Sleep him out. All right, whatever. Moving on, Mo Magician asks, what do you think of bringing back the Dragon Rulers, maybe each of them at one? Have you seen how powerful Dragon has been in the past year and a half?
Yeah.
Even with LP gone, no, those cards can't come back.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Redox and Title alone are busted for the Dragon deck. One's a Foolish Barrier, the other's a Monster
Tempest,
Reborn.
Tempest can stay. He's fine. Nobody else, though.
Nobody likes Tempest. Blaster's the only one that I think could get a pass because he's just a pop at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you do need a fire, which isn't that common in most builds of Dragon.
True.
Which I think
True.
It's a slippery slope when it comes to Title and Tempest, or Title and Redox. Mainly
Those
because
cards are
their
great.
effects are really, really solid.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we all agree on that, I think so. Favorite band card? That's a good question.
That's a really good question. I gotta think about that one.
I would have to say Yatagarasu is mine.
You love Yada.
Yeah. Just from a nostalgic standpoint, I remember losing to that card all the time. You'd think I would hate it for that reason, but I've recently just come to appreciate it, especially seeing the original print of the card, which is like, it's cool for me because I always remember losing to the card. I remember my brother had a deck that he was playing Yada Chaos for a little while, and I remember going to locals, losing to it, like I said, and only ever hearing things about the card, right? Seeing it happen to other people. I never owned the card myself. So I think it's the longest banned card in Yu-Gi-Oh's history as of today.
It is.
So that'd just be a very cool piece of history to own at some point, which I would love to pick up a first ed LOD copy, which I think I am going to be acquiring soon from a person in my Discord. So I would have to say Yatagarasu easily.
I would
He's
have
like,
to say,
Yeah.
because I'm a scumbag.
Yeah.
Colossus.
Colossus.
Only when I'm on the giving end of the deal.
Okay.
So mine's probably gonna take you maybe by a little surprise, maybe not. Norden. That card was so cool. Dude.
I miss Norden,
That card
dude.
was so cool.
So good,
Oh
but
my
so
It was just
incredibly abusable.
Yeah. But I do miss Norden a lot.
Mhm.
Good old Zoom format.
Yeah.
Yep. Fusion sub combo, baby.
Crazy. It was just such a cool card.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably my favorite band card. If I had to say off the top of my head, but
I like it. All good choices. Mo Magician asked another question. Says, given the opportunity, what specifically would you change about Yu-Gi-Oh? Different ban list format, changing a mechanic, etc. The only thing I feel like I would change is just trying to just overall slow the pace of the game down, where games aren't often decided A, at the die roll, or B, honestly I feel like it's the die roll, but also how powerful certain combo decks have become. I'm playing Drytron, but for example, you have as many negates as your opponent has cards in hand, and then it boils down to the stimmy staples. Did you draw them? If not, GG, go on to the next game. Whereas if you go back and watch some older format duels, in my new series, the Duel Archives, very just so satisfying.
banger series.
Back and forth games. People are putting up big boards, but they don't have any interruptions. So it's use your advantage, use your cards, get through my board, break it, either OTK me through it or put up a board that I'm gonna have a hard time getting back through again, and it's very back and forth. That's what I would like to see. Slow the game down, making it not so much decided on die roll.
Some slow Unga Bunga caveman.
Not
Yu-Gi-Oh.
even necessarily Unga Bunga, but just
Borax.
slow it down a little bit, Slow it down.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't really know what I would change. Probably just the thing that we honestly talked about earlier, just making the stimmy staples more accessible.
Yep, and then
So that
making
people-
that trade-off of,
having the decks.
archetype cards more expensive, but the stimmy staples drop in price.
That's probably what I would change.
Okay.
I think the game's at a really good spot, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything much else.
But you guys already know my view on that. I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would much rather have the starters be cheaper.
True. All right. And last question. If there was one thing you could redo from your career as a content creator, what would it be and why?
Not play
Ooh.
Photon Galaxy.
No, I wouldn't take it back. I wouldn't. I'd do it again if I had to. That is an interesting question. I'm well, if I would have, I guess the first serious answer would be, starting earlier. I wish I would have started doing YouTube and covering Yu-Gi-Oh content earlier. I wish I would have started playing Yu-Gi-Oh earlier. I wish I would have, seen the Spellbook Dragon Ruler format. That would have been cool. The plant formats before that, and even into Teledad form. Actually, no, not Teledad form. That's way too expensive. Everything I would say just after Teledad form. I wish I would have started earlier. I would say that. I also wish I would have never covered Yu-Gi-Oh and covered a more popular topic. No, I'm just kidding. That wasn't so highly opinionated. No, I joke. But I would say, yeah, I wish I would have started earlier. But, what can you really do about that? And, yeah, I already said why, so.
I mean, you could have always focused on Pokemon, too.
That is true. I just could have become a Pokemon pack opening channel back in 2011, and I would be like a millionaire now.
Literally exploded, yeah.
Because Pokemon wasn't that popular back. It was right when Pokemon Go came out. I think is what really skyrocketed. And ever since then, it's just been an upward slope.
Gold mine.
Yeah.
If you kept all your cards in good condition, you're sitting on a gold mine.
Okay, there's the real answer. I wish I would have started Pokemon, and I wish I would have kept all my old Pokemon cards in good condition, and also had 10 boxes of every set of Pokemon that was ever printed. There's the right question. No, but I already answered it.
Oh my god.
Realistically and not jokingly. So jokingly. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for episode 5 of the Winter Chills podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Thank you, Dan and Adam, for joining me on this podcast. Very, very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're goated.
Problem. You guys are goated. You guys are goated.
No.
You're
goated.
All right.
You're that guy, pal.
All right.
You're that guy, pal. You're that guy.
He's
You're
that
that guy.
You are all that guys.
All of you watching, yes, you are that guy or gal.
That guy.
Which there is, I think my demographic is it's 99.7% male and then 0.3% females. So
Shout
you're
out
that
to those
guy,
females.
pal. Yeah.
Female viewers, you love to see them.
But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. What else was I gonna say? I'm trying to think. Gonna mention something else. Oh yeah, we're gonna go test now. I'm gonna learn how to play Drytron. Thank you guys for watching.
Enter the lab.
Yep. Subscribe if you guys haven't already, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And last but not least, I want to give a special shout out to all of the YouTube members that support this channel, and a special thanks goes to our Divine Level channel members, and they are Cadillacs84 and Pony Stark. Thank you guys so much, like always, for your extremely generous support of this channel.